allowed to play in them. So I do wonder when the last time JimRising and Kelazhur actually faced each other was, because Kelazhur doesn't play much at all these days, as outside of the EPT.
Yeah, he definitely is. Well, it's funny because he joined his team, Team Liquid, as like an admin thing and a translator,
Right.
and then they were just kind of like, "Hey, you still playing?" And he's like, "Yeah, I still play a fair bit." And they're like, "Do you want to be on the pro roster?" And he's like, "Yeah, I guess so." And it's like, so it's like he's technically on Team Liquid as a player,
Right.
and he has done some really amazing stuff as that. But here we go, spawning down on the bottom left, representing Timbers Esports. It is the Red Zerg player, JimRising.
He's going down. He's going timber. I hate that. And in the top right-hand side, in that Team Liquid Cyan, he is representing Brazil, Kelazhur.
See that little horse's head? The iconic symbol of Team Liquid.
Yeah.
One of the greats, one of the all-time great organizations out there.
No question. And not just in StarCraft, across almost all of esports, Team Liquid is a fearsome and serious presence. They got a great organization behind them. And even though they're like StarCraft is sort of their daddy organization, their daddy esport, they have branched out into almost everything. I can't think of an esport that Team Liquid doesn't have a team in.
Yeah, no, it's they've got hands in every pot, as it were, so to speak.
Hands in every what?
In every pot?
In every what?
Hands in every pot.
No.
Like you got a hand in one pot, hand in another?
Every pie.
Yeah. Where do you think you store those pies? Yeah, you got me. I got that completely wrong.
I've heard finger in a lot of pies before. I've never heard hand in a lot of pots before. That sounds really painful, I'll be honest. If you've got like a lot of soup going, you don't want to jam a whole hand in there.
A minestrone, you've got your chicken noodle, you've got all your kinds of different
Only if you're doing like a lot of gazpachos, then you can put your hand in there.
Yeah.
Oof.
But no one's passion burns cold. You want your passion to burn fiery hot.
Maybe that's what it is. Maybe they'll cool your hot heart with a what is it? No, they'll cool your heart with a Chili Island song or something. That's a very, very niche reference to anybody who watched South Park in the year like 2002. You're welcome. That's been great. So far, though, pretty standard game, it looks like. Hatch gas pool out of JimRising. Reaper not getting much done. No kills just yet, I don't believe. And we're going to head into two links. Sorry, going down.
Oh.
Yeah. All right, whatever. Doesn't matter. Link speed about to finish and 3 drones coming on.
What I'm more interested in is Jim. Oh, that's a... Ooh. Okay, now you got my attention, Kelazhur. Nice job. Picks off that creeping. What I'm more interested in is JimRising is going for a two-base build. He loves doing this, delaying that third hatchery for quite a while. It does get it down at around 46 supply, but loves doing this and then going for sometimes it's two-base tech, sometimes it's two-base Nidus Worm, sometimes it's two-base Muta, and sometimes it's, whatever this is.
2-base Ultralisk Broodlord Infester. Or is that just
Overlord is it in?
That's just a nightmare I had a couple weeks ago, I think. Jeez,
Wow. That sounds horrifying.
Dude, right? And like it's actually difficult to fight against. You're like, you can't do this on 2 bases, and then they can. The worst. Steadfast, I don't usually do this. Because I don't dream a lot. By the way, yes. Concussive Shell Marauder drop. I love it. I'm so excited. I don't usually do this Steadfast because I don't usually dream. But can I share with you my very weird dream from a couple nights ago?
Sure, as long as it's pretty quick, because it will be a Hellbat Marauder play that's coming in the next couple of, probably about 30 seconds.
Beautiful. I got 20 seconds to BS on stream. So, I'm lying on my back. I'm watching the stars at night, right? And then out of nowhere, like a section of the night sky, the stars just like disappear. They swirl into like a tiny void, but there's no explosion or noise or anything. They just disappear, and it starts happening all over the sky. Terrifying. Anyway, here's the push.
Damn, that's terrifying. Almost as terrifying as this many Hellbats showing up at your front door. going to be getting on top of the roaches. Now, roaches are, of course, a great response to this. And JimRising, well, he's actually going to be able to hold this thanks to these roaches. He will take very, very heavy losses. But, I mean, Kelazhur committed a lot to make this happen. Now, this is where the value is. Finding these drones. How many drones do we see go down? Only 3. At the end of the day, yeah, that favors Kelazhur JimRising just a little bit. And Jim is quite far ahead in supply right now. Cool. Now, he is down in workers. That is important to note. But, I mean, in theory, he could just go for a Nidus network. And I actually don't think there's any possibility Kelazhur would hold it.
Yeah, he sacrificed everything there. I mean, if you show the battle, you can't show the battle report anymore, but even the units lost tab going to show you an absolutely disastrous run there. I was really hoping Kelazhur's Hellions might get in behind the back of the natural and get some damage done, but no such luck there. He wasn't able to find more than, 2 drone kills, I think? It's looking real rough, and there it is. Overlord speed coming down. Pneumatized Carapace, likely going to be for some Dropper Lords, and possibly a bit of nice play behind that.
Well, I think he's just going to pop these queens across the map, try and take down those banshees, and do exactly what I was saying, which is going for the throat right now. Kelazhur, he's going up into 1-1 upgrades. He is playing this out as though it is a normal game. And, well, I mean, under normal circumstances, that's a great call, but JimRising, he is absolutely going to be going for a kill move right now.
As he should, man, as he should. 51 army supply to 18. I don't care what your composition is. This is not a real-time strategy game, as you guys back home have been led to believe. This is, of course, an economic management sim. The winner of the game is the person who has more stuff. And right now, JimRising has more stuff.
Yeah, he's got a lot more stuff. Now, this is going to be nice for Kelazhur. I like that he decloaks those Banshees, knows that, well, it might come down to just how many Banshees I have left at the very end. And keeping that energy as high as possible is going to be a good thing. Now, we are going to see 3, maybe even 4 roaches go down during all of this. But there is a lot of bio here, and it does have Stim.
And Stim is so strong. Best upgrade in the game, short of Concussive Shell for your Marauders, which Kelazhur already has. And look at, he's got 2 Marauders here. Now, the Banshees are going to have unlimited damage here, basically, because they're going to be able to outrange those Queens for the most part. And keeping the Queens back in the backside is very, very useful. But, man, the walls are down. They've got to retreat back into the keep like the soldiers of Gondor and things, or the soldiers of Helm's Deep, rather. Thank you. They're not the soldiers of Helm's Deep, the soldiers of whatever, it doesn't matter. Stim's
Rohan.
great. Look at Kelazhur. Tearing through this. Sacrificing his SCVs, but going to break this.
Yeah, this was really, really mishandled from JimRising right here. He got his queens caught behind everything. He tried to drop creep tumors, didn't actually drop them. This probably should have ended the game. He didn't take down the wall, so his units got funneled through a single supply depot area. I mean, it's easy for me to say, like, oh, you know, do it better, Jim. But at the same time, it's like he could have done it a lot better than he did it. I couldn't have, but he could have.
He could have, but we couldn't have. So we can't, you know, it's not important. More roaches coming in now. The natural completely undefended, but again, he's playing bio. He's always got some reinforcements coming down. These roaches will force the army back home, which is really nice. Gonna buy JimRising a bit more time. He's still only on 3 bases right now, which is really not where a certain player wants to be at the 9-minute mark of the game.
And, well, we're going to see more roaches than Marines going down during all this.
Ooh.
And that should be GG.
Yeah.
It's 1-1 now for Kelazhur. He did forget his combat shields, which is unfortunate. But at the end of the day, doesn't really matter because he's got 2-2 on the way. And, well, Jim's not going to leave at the moment. So Kelazhur is going to have to go across the map and make him leave, but I don't think that's going to be too big of a problem. He scans, he sees there's no gas here, and takes down a creep tumor as well.
Kelazhur just styling right now. I love this. You want to see something great that explains this entire game? Press 2 on your numpad and just look at the army size graph. Kelazhur has only taken 1 big loss in army size at the beginning of the game. Since then, he has been mowing through JimRising like a newly oiled blade on a lawnmower. GG, Kelazhur is going to cut his opponent down to size and grab game number 1.
That he will. And, I mean, I honestly thought, like, that was a really cool build out of Jim.
Yeah.
I honestly thought that was going to work. I was kind of surprised that it didn't, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah, a lot of stuff going wrong, I think, for both sides in that. Sort of both of those players making some big mistakes. Kelazhur really overcommitting to his big Hellbat Marauder push with the Roaches already there to defend against it. He lost too much. And then, of course, that disastrous funneling Roach attack into the natural of Kelazhur. Just not what you wanted to see from either side. So Kelazhur pulls out a win, but I think it's probably not one that he's super proud of. Of course, that said, it's DreamHack, baby. Doesn't matter if you're proud of your wins or not. A dub is a dub.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, it's not about how it happened, it's about what the score looks like. And
it was the friends you made along the way.
It's always the friends we made along the way.
Aw. Thanks, Steadfast. I'm your friend too.
No. It's always a pleasure.
Steadfast and I have been casting StarCraft nonstop for we're at 7 hours now. So that's a long freaking day. We've got not much left in the tank. But we're getting into what possibly could be our last game of the day here. If Kelazhur wins this one, it takes it to a 2-0, we're finished. If JimRising takes it to a 1-1 and we go to a game 3, it's officially going to be one of the longest days of DreamHack that I've ever cast in my life. As we've had, correct me if I'm wrong here, 2 series that didn't go to the game 3.
I think you are correct about that, as it is right now. Out of a possible 7, and if this one somehow goes to game 3, it would be 8.
That's insane. Well, let's hop into Romanticide LE for our second game of JimRising v Kelazhur.
Absolutely, spawning down in the bottom right, representing Team Liquid. He is up 1-0. After an unsuccessful first attack, but an excellent second defense, it is Kelazhur, representing the Horsies.
What about second defense? Do you think he knows about second defense, Pippin? Top left-hand side in the red, we have got from Timbers Esports. He has fallen down. It's JimRising.
I like that he's carrying a chainsaw there. Whoever that is. I don't know if that's Jim. I don't think it's Jim, but no, there's no way that's Jim, right? No, that's
what
just
are you talking about?
Oh, you don't see it, do you? Yeah, you don't have the logos mod. Okay, yeah. There's a logos mod. You can see it on the stream. There is a very cool looking chainsaw.
I got it. You're right. Sorry. I'm trying to check the other stream to see if I can see it. They do have a good logo. That's pretty cool. Oh, jeez. All right, so 1 barracks down here for Kelazhur. I said before the series I was kind of hoping for triple proxy racks here. No, 0 proxy racks at all. This entire series.
Yeah, no, none at all.
Womp womp. And JimRising playing pretty standard as well, right? Last game looking pretty good with the Roach defense, reading his opponent very well. Do you expect to see something a little more aggressive out of JimRising this time, or do you think he's going to be more comfortable going to the mid game, going to the late game?
I think we're going to see another very aggressive build. Yeah, he almost made it work with that last one, but that was with everything kind of going in his favor. I'm pretty sure he was always planning to all in, and then his all in was a later all in than his opponent's, so it meant that he just defended really easily, and then he kind of altered his all in into being able to deal with Cloaked Banshees by having that speed overseer, the Overlord speed to ferry those queens across the map. And then Kelazhur committed to stuff that was going to help him out later, like 1-1 and third base and infrastructure. So now, man, great micro from Kelazhur. Goddamn.
The freaking beyond of Latin America here. Kelazhur's Reapers are feared across the world, man. And every single game, he gets good damage done. This is insane.
Yeah, no, he is really, really good, and that's why we see. I think him and Ziggy are the only 2 players that still sometimes go for 3 racks Reaper. Special will do a 2 racks Reaper build that's kind of cool, but against Zerg, but you don't often see it. And it's a lot less committed than the 3 racks Reaper that of Beyond of old.
Yeah, no question. God, how is this Reaper still alive? It's gonna die finally. Oh my! Are you
Nope.
kidding me right now, Steadfast? What on earth is up with Kelazhur? This is insane. His KD is better than most Call of Duty pros.
That was really clean micro right there. And talk about having a rough series. Wow, look at it. Wow, seriously? He's going to go for it again. And there's
it worked so well last game.
Right?
He was just like, this worked so well last game. I almost won. I mean, I won the game. Clearly, I got to do the same thing again. Jiminy Christmas, Kelazhur. What's up with that, man? Come on.
Yeah, this is just the strangest thing. I don't know why. I don't know why we're seeing this exact same thing, and it's so funny that we're seeing another quick Roach Warren from Jim.
Yeah, I don't love this build in general. Let's be honest. I love Concussive Shell Marauders. I don't think this is the time or place to use them. Hellbats are countered by pretty much anything a Zerg player has, especially Roaches, but Queens do fairly well. If you've got Banelings, they're great as well. It's also very difficult to push into the natural in the third here. There's really only 1 or 2 ingresses onto the natural and third base, so it makes it very difficult for these pushes to actually work.
Yeah, no kidding. And, well, we are going to be seeing these Hellions moving on forward. Oh, they actually got a decent little lineup right here. Yeah. And now the Queens are not in position, so this is going to go a lot better for Kelazhur than it did in the previous game. Still a lot of Roaches. And nice target fire will, yes, it will eventually take down that medevac. Took a little while to kill it off there, but this is going to be very difficult to deal with, and we're going to see a lot more drones, I think, go down than they did in the previous game.
Yeah, the problem is that there's the medevac this time, of course, which does mean that the focus fire on the medevac is great, but it means a huge decrease in DPS in your main army. So the main army not able to do nearly as much. That's why we see Kelazhur's army sticking around for a lot longer. Now, he isn't going to kill any drones here, even though you're right, he probably should have. He's just going to get a slightly more effective trade, but honestly, at the end of the day, the army supply graph looks about the same as it did last game. Even though Kelazhur feels like he traded better, it's still even at best. And if you look at the army supply overall, much worse for Kelazhur. Cloak on the way for the Banshees. Stim on the way as well. Third base coming down for Kelazhur now, but he's got a tough hold ahead of him if JimRising decides to push out.
Yeah, which it looks like he's not going to. It was slightly better trade. Well, actually, significantly better trade than the previous game. In the last game, JimRising actually lost less than Kelazhur, but in this game, he's lost 400 resources more. So it comes out to about maybe 600 or 700 resources more. But still, it was an attack that did not work. First and foremost, that's what it was. It killed less drones than the previous game.
Fewer drones.
Fewer. Yes. Thank you.
You stepped right into that one, Steadfast.
I sure did. We're going to be seeing a Spire play out of JimRising, though. He is a big fan of this Mutaplay.
Yeah, sorry, man. I couldn't resist. It was too juicy. Yeah, a big fan of the Spire play. We've seen it now a couple times, whether it's appropriate or not. I'm a little surprised, though. That's going to slow him down a little bit. Obviously, those big investments in tech going to make him a little bit less aggressive, a little bit less forward-thinking, a little bit less able to control the tempo of the game. And that's what we saw last game, is that Kelazhur was able to regain tempo control in the game. And that's what allowed him to get these really nice fights. A couple SCV kills is good, but the third base going down, not what JimRising wants.
No, definitely not. But wow, Kelazhur. Okay, so you know how before I was saying whenever I see 3 barracks on the production tab, I'm like, ooh, he's doing an 8 racks all in. Well, this time Kelazhur actually is doing an 8 racks all in.
Racks.
Gonna be pumping hard right here. He's a big pumper.
You can't legally call someone that on Twitch, man. 10 Mutalisks on the way, Steadfast, and that's going to be real dangerous. I feel like there won't be quite enough around the map for Kelazhur to really control this. So I feel like the Mutalisks have a good opportunity to get some damage done. We talked about this a few games ago, but he's up to 13 Mutalisks now, which sort of puts him in that tier 2 of Mutalisk harass, right? Where you can actually engage with very tiny clumps of Marines if you want to.
Yeah, certainly, but you definitely do want to still find, places where there's no missile turrets. You're hoping your opponent didn't scout them, but the Banshees did get the scout. That means there is missile turrets up in every base. Now, this is still a lot of opportunity to get a huge amount of damage done, but he's also going to have to deal with this attack coming across the map. Oh, and Jim's going to lose a Muta immediately on that awkward rally. Yeah.
It'll drive the Mutas back as well. Dangerous stuff here right now. There's going to be a bit of a weird flank from JimRising. Yeah, more free Mutas going down. The Muta's not getting onto the tank as well. That tank could have gotten picked off, but bad target firing from JimRising there. He actually just flies forward instead of getting the tank for free, and unfortunately instead trades away 1, 2, make it 4 Mutalisks have gone down already for almost nothing.
Yeah, this this is really bad for JimRising. Mutas can be very, very effective in this matchup as well. They're not the best, but they can be good. But that relies on them staying alive and finding value, oftentimes on the other side of the map. And that's just not going to happen here.
No, definitely not. I mean, jeez, we just keep seeing him go down, down, down. This is terrible. Terrible stuff here. The good news for JimRising is he's rebuilding even more Mutalisks, though his count being very healthy again, up to 12 now, and should be, let's see, 19 on the map before too long. If the Banelings can get some good connections, the Mutalisks can come sweep in the rest of the tanks, and that means that JimRising can win the game off of one good fight because he has a nice balanced army. But it looks like he's just not taking it. He's going to go straight in through that gap in the rocks, and that's going to be disastrous for him. He gets one tank, but at what cost? Steadfast.
Well, it's at the cost of most of his army there. Banelings do get some decent connections on the left side, but there's just not enough to hold on against these 1-1 Combat Shield Marines, and that is going to be